Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while the price of Bitcoin is confirming the break below this critical area of support, we're seeing Bitcoin whales buy billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, while the price of Ethereum is now running into an important level of support, but also playing out a short-term warning signal, while the price of Solana is now breaking below a very important line of support, targeting much lower prices, while the price of XRP is flashing a new signal in the short term that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before we take a look at the Bitcoin charts today, taking a look at some Bitcoin news today, because just a few hours ago, Michael Saylor announced that Strategy, previously known as MicroStrategy, the company, has just acquired another 20,356 Bitcoin for around $2 billion US. And so with this latest purchase by Strategy, the company now holds almost 500,000 Bitcoin, around 499,000 Bitcoin that they acquired for around $33 billion US. But of course, right now, that 499,000 Bitcoin is currently worth quite a bit more than just 33 billion. And so keep this in mind right here. While a lot of people are panicking in the short term, and yes, in the short term, we are seeing some bearish signals and things like that. But while that is happening, massive players out there like institutions, companies, billionaires are loading up big time on Bitcoin. The people with the big money are buying cheap Bitcoin, while a lot of retail investors at the moment are panicking and selling their Bitcoin into the hands of these billionaires and companies. So just keep that in mind. And in some other crypto news today, reportedly Binance is selling a lot of Ethereum. As we could see with on-chain analysis, we could see a lot of transactions involving millions of dollars worth of Ethereum actually leaving Binance and going to a market maker known as Wintermute. And so this millions of dollars worth of Ethereum leaving Binance is likely being dumped on the market through this market maker, and we're seeing something very similar for Solana at the moment, because as we can see here, on-chain transactions tell us that a lot of Solana, millions of dollars worth of Solana, has been just flowing out of Binance towards this market maker known as Wintermute, basically being dumped on the market. And so we definitely have some interesting news today. Once again, Michael Saylor announcing a massive purchase of Bitcoin, but then other cryptos being dumped on the market by some of these exchanges and market makers. So of course, this is affecting the price in different ways in the shorter term. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today on this weekly time frame, technically speaking, if we're looking at the lows and the highs, we are forming higher lows and higher highs on this weekly Bitcoin chart, also known as a bullish trend or a bull market. So technically speaking, despite the current short-term pullback, we've not yet fully confirmed a new bear market or anything like that. Technically, we're still within a bull market, because we can see that during these larger bullish trends or bull markets, of course, we can see pullbacks and sideways consolidation here and there during the bull market. So keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bullish trend. But if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, of course, we still have that massive bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. And just over the last 1 day, this is further confirmed again with the latest weekly candle close that we just saw over the last 1 day. And so we now have 3 weeks in the red if we're looking at the histogram in the MACD indicator on the weekly Bitcoin chart. And the last couple of times we saw this same signal start playing out, we did end up seeing either a pullback or more of a bearish trend over the next few weeks or months in the price of Bitcoin, but not necessarily the end of the larger bull market, because obviously both of those occurrences there occurred during this larger bullish trend. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, as I've already been saying for months now on the channel, I've been warning about this massive bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, and I've been saying basically every day for the last 1 to 2 months that we should be expecting a massive slowdown in the bull market. So while a lot of people people were telling you that basically Bitcoin's going to go to the moon and we're going to go straight towards the upside into record new all-time highs. Of course, I've been saying with this massive bearish divergence, a much more likely scenario is at the very least some choppy sideways price action or possibly a little bit of a pullback within the next few weeks or months, because usually a bearish divergence means we're basically slowing down. We're losing a lot of bullish momentum within the bull market, but a bearish divergence by itself does not necessarily guarantee that the bull market is completely over, because for example, we did see a small bearish divergence right here between the price of Bitcoin with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the Bitcoin RSI on the weekly time frame. And what came next was indeed a pullback in the price of Bitcoin over the next 1 or 2 months, but not necessarily a massive 1-year bear market like what we saw in 2022. And so at the current stage, we're still technically within a bull market, because for now, we've not yet fully confirmed the end of the bull market, but technically for at least the next few weeks, as the most likely scenario, as I've already been saying for weeks now on the channel, we should be expecting either at the very least some choppy sideways price action or quite possibly a slight pullback as the most likely outcomes, especially with this bearish cross in the MACD and this bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. And if you want to get set up ready to go to take any of these trading opportunities in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I'm taking more trades over on 2bit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some massive rewards that are only available using that link. So for example, if you simply just click that link and make your account without even making a deposit, you automatically get a $30 bonus onto your account if you use the link below this video to make your account. And then if you actually make a deposit, you get a 20% deposit rebate up to a max of 200 USDT. So for example, if you deposit just 1,000 USDT, you get a $200 bonus onto your account. And then for the larger traders out there, there's massive rewards that you can claim using that link. Like for example, a brand new Mercedes-Benz or $50,000 or Rolex watch or gold bars or Apple products, etc. simply just by trading crypto using that link. And on top of all of that, if you use the link below this video to 2bit, you are automatically upgraded to VIP level 1, which basically means you get massive discounts on trading fees. So lower trading fees if you use the link below this video to the 2bit exchange. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is indeed a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And another option out there, if you don't want 2bit for whatever reason, there is also Bitfinex, which is another exchange that I also trade on. And Bitfinex is also a no KYC exchange. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitfinex below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, where you can also claim some massive rewards using that link. But with that being said, taking a look at the short-term Bitcoin price action on the 8-hour time frame, just over the last few hours or so, we did actually confirm at least one 8-hour candle close below this area of support that over the last couple of weeks has been acting as strong support many times, as we can see. And that area of support, in case you're new to the channel, is sitting in between around 95,000 to 96,000. So technically speaking, we have now just seen one confirmation signal, one candle close below that area to actually confirm a break to the downside. So technically that should now be acting as resistance. As we're seeing a slight little retest here, I would expect some resistance in this area. And for the bulls out there, obviously we'll need to see a quick breakout back above 95 to 96,000 with candle closes back above that area in order to obviously invalidate the break to the downside, because if that were to happen, that will just invalidate this break, basically turning it into just a fake out rather than a break to the downside. But remember, just in the meantime, technically I would now expect resistance in this area now that we have technically seen one confirmation confirming the break down. And as for the next area of support to watch out for, we do have a lot of support in this area based on previous price action, sitting in between around 92,000 to 93,000, and also a significant level at close to 91,000. And as for resistance, like I just said earlier, expect some resistance at 95 to 96,000. But if we actually see a quick breakout back above that area, of course, we still have significant resistance in between around 98,500 to 99,000. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, right now we do actually have a decent amount of liquidity starting to build just below the price at very close to 93,000. And so there's a good chance that the price of Bitcoin may end up just taking out that liquidity before potentially seeing some sort of slight bounce here, then perhaps rejecting from resistance. That could be a likely scenario, but overall, we don't really have a lot of bullish or bearish momentum. Obviously, we have just broken below support, so technically speaking, in the short term, we're looking slightly more bearish than we are bullish, but we're not really seeing a significant amount of momentum, as we could see. And so, as I've already been saying for weeks now, of course, yes, we can see a slight little pullback due to some of these larger bearish signals, but I don't necessarily expect a massive crash straight to the downside with strong bearish momentum. Once again, we're most likely going to see either a slight pullback or simply just a little bit more choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcomes here in the shorter term. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, just over the last 1 day, we just rejected from this Fibonacci level, which is indeed acting as resistance, sitting at close to 2.8k. And of course, we started to just attempt to break out above 2.8k, but for now, we're still finding a lot of resistance around there. So of course, the next area of support to watch out for if we continue a further rejection is sitting at just above 2,500. And below that, I would expect significant support at 2.3k and also in between 2150 to 2.2k. And if we're taking a look at this Ethereum chart on the 6-hour time frame, looking at the shorter term, of course, we still have this ascending parallel channel with this adjusted line of resistance, because obviously a couple of days ago I did cover this ascending parallel channel, but on the 4-hour time frame. But once again, this is looking at the 6-hour time frame right now, and this line of support is currently sitting at just above 2.6k, around 2630 to 2640, and at least as of right now, at the time of recording this video, that is currently acting as important support. And as for resistance in regards to this parallel channel, we could find a small amount of resistance at the center line for the parallel channel, which is at around 2730. But above that, we have this important ascending line of resistance sitting at just above 2.8k, around 2820 to 2830. And potentially one of the reasons as to why we did see a bit of a pullback over the last 1 day in the price of Ethereum, alongside the fact that obviously Bitcoin seeing a bit of a pullback, breaking below support, we also have this short-term bearish divergence on the 3-hour Ethereum chart, with slight higher highs in the price in the candle closes confirmed and lower highs confirmed in the 3-hour Ethereum RSI. And as usual, a bearish divergence most commonly plays out in the form of either a pullback or just some choppy sideways price action as the most common outcomes from a bearish divergence. So this has already obviously started to play out and could possibly continue to play out for a little longer. But just remember, we do have a decent amount of support at just above 2.6k, which at least as of recording this video, we're currently seeing a slight bounce from. And so those are the things that are currently affecting the price of Ethereum, alongside the fact that Ethereum is simply just following similar price action to what Bitcoin is doing. So as I always say, if Bitcoin has a pullback or a pump, expect something similar for a lot of the major altcoins. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the weekly time frame, right now, as of recording this video, Solana is attempting a break below this very important ascending line of support, which is sitting at approximately $165. And now, technically speaking, we still need to actually confirm the break to the downside with at least a weekly candle close below around 165. And in case you're wondering, the next weekly candle close is still in a little over 6 days from now at the end of the week. But if we actually confirm this break to the downside on the weekly Solana chart, the technical price target for this price pattern, known as a rising wedge pattern, would simply be the bottom of the wedge, which is sitting at around $90. That is right, a $90 price target for the price of Solana if we first confirm the break below this line of support, which as of right now has not yet happened. And so just measuring out that potential move from the current price as of recording this video to that potential price target, which still needs to be confirmed, that would be approximately a 40% move towards the downside if we actually confirm that price target. But of course, as I always say, even if we have a price target in play, we cannot ignore other points of support and resistance. So even if we confirm the break and the price target, would likely find a lot of support around these lows just here, sitting at approximately 120 to 130. And if we're zooming into the daily Solana chart, as I record in this video, the price of Solana is attempting a break below this 78.6% Fibonacci level of support, which was sitting at around $158. But technically speaking, we've not yet actually confirmed a daily candle close to confirm the break below 158. But if that confirms, then we'll likely find the next support at closer towards around 136 to 137 based on these previous lows. And it's also worth mentioning that the daily Solana RSI, as of recording this video, is just now starting to enter into oversold territories for the first time in many months. It's actually been a very long time we've seen an oversold signal confirm on the daily Solana chart. And so obviously an oversold signal is the opposite to an overbought signal, and an overbought signal basically means we're overheated, we've gone too far to the upside too quickly, and we need some time to cool off. And so an oversold signal means that we've gone too far to the downside too quickly, and we're likely very soon going to see a little bit of a relief or a break from all of the bearish price action. But technically speaking, that oversold signal on the daily time frame still needs to be confirmed with at least a daily candle close. And so this next daily candle close and the next weekly candle close will likely be very important for the price of Solana. But either way, with the RSI getting very close to oversold, it is very likely that either way, even if we confirm the break to the downside on the weekly time frame, at least over the next couple of weeks, we'll likely at some point see a little bit of a relief in the price of Solana, basically just a break from all of the bearish price action with the RSI getting close to oversold. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the daily time frame, XRP is simply continuing the rejection from this area of resistance, sitting in between around $2.65 to $2.80. So obviously we're still finding a lot of resistance in that area. The price is struggling a lot in that price range. And as for support, we've just broken below around $2.50, which was acting as a bit of short-term support. And the next important area of support to watch out for is sitting in between $2.25 to $2.30. But despite the fact that XRP is obviously rejecting from that area of resistance, we're currently within a bit of a sideways price range. As we can see, the price is basically just bouncing around between support and resistance. So we're simply just at the stage within that sideways price range where the price is rejecting from resistance along the way towards the support level, and then potentially closer towards this support, we may end up seeing another bounce back up closer towards that resistance. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 2-hour XRP chart, over the last few hours, the price has officially confirmed an oversold signal for the first time in actually quite a while on the 2-hour XRP RSI. And the last couple of times the RSI even just got close to an oversold signal, we did see at least a local low in the price, not necessarily the bottom. As we can see, the price has since gone lower than those previous points, but at least a local low due to see either a bit of a bounce or some sort of relief, just a bit of a break essentially from all of the bearish price action, which can reset the RSI back towards the upside, potentially giving us more room towards the downside later on. But simply based on this oversold signal in the 2-hour XRP chart, it is very likely that at some point over the next 1 or 2 days, we will see just a slight little relief, a bit of a break from all of the bearish price action, but not necessarily the end of all of this bearish price action here. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, obviously over the last 1 day, Chainlink has continued the break below this 50% retracement level, which was previously acting as a lot of support at around $17.60 to $17.70. But now obviously we're continuing the break to the downside towards the next significant area of support, which is the golden pocket, sitting in between around $14.90 to $15.50, previously acting as strong support. And so I'll now expect a decent amount of resistance at around $17.70 to $18. So if we see a bit of a bounce in the short term, expect resistance around there. And of course, we also have significant resistance in between $19.50 to $20. And in terms of the larger price structure or the larger trend or momentum on the daily time frame, technically, as I've been saying for quite some time, the larger trend is simply bearish, as we're clearly forming lower highs and lower lows, breaking below support levels levels and not really seeing any breakouts above key resistance. That is all bearish price structure. And of course, over the last one day, we did see a further breakdown here in the RSI, actually just now creating a new lower low in the daily Chainlink RSI alongside the price, creating a lower low in the candle closes, which basically means we have no divergence at all. So like I said, over the last couple of days, we had a possible bullish divergence forming, but it never actually confirmed. We were still waiting for confirmation because, as I said, over the last couple of days, we need to actually confirm the higher low in place in the RSI to be confident that the bullish divergence will actually start playing out. But we never confirmed that in place, which means the bullish divergence never confirmed. And of course, we simply just remained within the larger bearish trend. But if you're new to all of this, bearish price action is not always bad. For example, you could use bearish price action to your advantage by accumulating cheaper cryptos at lower prices at some point later on. Or for example, you can actually profit along the way to the downside using things like short positions if you're more into trading crypto. And once again, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that you can only claim using those links. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto to profit no matter what the price is doing, whether the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.